Today, we're recapping the top 10 songs of 1972, along with some not-so-known facts about our favorite artists from the 70s. So let's get started. Superstition is one of Stevie Wonder's most popular hits. The funky track was initially intended for guitarist Jeff Beck, who had worked with Wonder on some sessions. However, Wonder's management insisted he keep the song for himself, a decision that left Beck feeling somewhat slighted. Stevie Wonder was a child prodigy who signed with Motown at just 11 years old. By the time Superstition was released, Wonder had already been in the music industry for a decade. His ability to play multiple instruments, coupled with his innovative use of synthesizers, made him a trailblazer in the world of R&B. Music trivia. Stevie Wonder was the first musician to win a Grammy Award for Album of the Year 3 times in a row. Rocket Man became one of Elton John's most iconic songs, but not without some controversy. Many listeners couldn't help but draw comparisons to David Bowie's Space Oddity, released 3 years earlier. Both songs dealt with themes of space travel and loneliness, leading to speculation about whether John was trying to capitalize on the success of Bowie's hit. Elton John, born Reginald Dwight, was already a rising star by the time Rocket Man hit the airwaves. His partnership with lyricist Bernie Taupin proved to be one of the most successful collaborations in music history. Rocket Man was inspired by a short story by Ray Bradbury titled The Rocket Man, from his book The Illustrated Man. The story tells of astronauts who struggle with the conflict between their love for space exploration and the pull of their earthly lives. Heart of Gold marked a high point in Neil Young's career and became Young's only #1 hit in the United States. Neil Young, a Canadian singer-songwriter, is often described as one of the most influential figures in rock music. Known for his distinctive voice and guitar style, Young has never shied away from exploring different musical genres, from folk and country to hard rock and grunge. His willingness to take risks and defy expectations has earned him a loyal fan base, even as he continued to evolve throughout his career. Music trivia. Bob Dylan once said that he's a bit jealous of Heart of Gold because it was a song he could have written but never did. High praise from one of the greatest songwriters of all time. If you're loving this journey through the greatest hits of 1972, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. And if you want to dive even deeper into the music of this iconic year, leave a comment below with your favorite song from 1972. Who knows, it might just be featured in our next video. Roberta Flack's The First Time I Ever Saw Your Face is a soulful interpretation of this song, and it became a massive hit, winning a Grammy for Record of the Year. Roberta Flack, born in Black Mountain, North Carolina, was a classically trained pianist who transitioned into popular music. Her talent for interpreting songs with deep emotion helped to set her apart. The First Time I Ever Saw Your Face became her breakthrough hit, establishing her as one of the premier vocalists of the 1970s. Flack continued to enjoy success throughout the decade with hits like Killing Me Softly with His Song and Feel Like Making Love. Music trivia. The First Time I Ever Saw Your Face was featured in the 1971 film Play Misty for Me, directed by and starring Clint Eastwood. The exposure from the film helped propel the song to #1 on the charts. School's Out by Alice Cooper quickly became an anthem for students across America, but not without causing a stir. The song's rebellious message led to its banning on some radio stations. His band's sound was heavily influenced by the hard rock and heavy metal scenes of the late 60s and early 70s, but it was their image and stagecraft that set them apart. Music trivia. School's Out was inspired by Cooper's own childhood. He once said that the greatest 3 minutes of his life were the last 3 minutes before school let out for summer vacation. Carly Simon's Youre So Vain is a song that has fueled speculation and controversy for decades. The song's lyrics, which describe a self-absorbed lover who's unaware that the song's about him, led to endless guessing games about the subject's identity.
You're so vain,
Simon has confirmed that the song is about multiple people, but she has only revealed one name, Warren Beatty. The mystery surrounding the song's subject has kept it in the public eye, making it one of Simon's most famous works. Carly Simon, born into a wealthy New York family, was already an established singer-songwriter by the time the song hit the airwaves. Youre So Vain became her biggest hit, reaching number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and earning her 3 Grammy nominations. Music trivia. The iconic bass line in Youre So Vain was played by a German musician who was a close friend of the Beatles. Wow, what a journey through some of the most memorable hits of 1972. If you're enjoying this deep dive into the music that shaped a generation, make sure to subscribe to our channel so you never miss out on our latest content. If there's a song or artist from 1972 that you think we should have included, drop it in the comments below. Let's keep the conversation going. Me and Mrs. Jones is a soulful ballad that tells the story of an extramarital affair, a subject that was considered taboo at the time. Despite, or perhaps because of, its provocative lyrics, Me and Mrs. Jones resonated with audiences, reaching number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and earning a Grammy Award for Best Male R&B Vocal Performance. Me and Mrs. Jones. Billy Paul, born Paul Williams in Philadelphia, began his career as a jazz vocalist, performing with legends like Charlie Parker and Miles Davis before transitioning to soul music in the 1960s. Me and Mrs. Jones was the pinnacle of Paul's career, but he continued to record and perform for many years, maintaining a loyal following among soul and jazz fans. Music trivia. Me and Mrs. Jones was recorded at the famous Sigma Sound Studios in Philadelphia, the birthplace of the Philly soul sound. Take It Easy was the debut single of the Eagles and became an instant classic. It was co-written by Jackson Browne and Eagles member Glenn Frey. It became one of the Eagles' signature songs and a defining anthem of the era. Take it easy, take it easy. The Eagles, formed in Los Angeles in 1971, quickly rose to fame with their harmonious blend of rock and country influences. The band would go on to become one of the best-selling acts in music history. Their debut album, featuring Take It Easy, set the stage for their meteoric rise, eventually leading to iconic albums like Hotel California. Music trivia. The line, "Standing on a Corner in Winslow, Arizona," from Take It Easy, became so famous that the town of Winslow actually erected a statue in a park called Standing on the Corner Park to commemorate the song and its impact on the town's identity. A Horse with No Name was the breakout hit for the band America, but it wasn't without its share of controversy. Many listeners and critics pointed out the song's striking similarity to Neil Young's style, particularly his song Heart of Gold. You see, I've been through the desert on a horse with no name. Some even joked that America was trying to ride on Young's coattails. Despite these criticisms, the song became a massive success, reaching number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and becoming America's signature song. America was formed in London by 3 sons of U.S. Air Force personnel stationed in the UK. Their unique blend of folk rock with soft harmonies captured the attention of both American and British audiences. A Horse with No Name was the lead single from their debut album and remains one of the most recognizable songs from the early 1970s. Music trivia. The song was banned by some U.S. radio stations because of perceived drug references in the line, "I've been through the desert on a horse with no name." Burning Love, released in 1972, was one of Elvis Presley's last major hits and marked a return to the rock and roll sound that made him famous. However, the song's release came during a troublesome period in Presley's life, leading some to view it as a desperate attempt to recapture his former glory. Despite these concerns, Burning Love became a massive hit, reaching number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100 and reminding the world why Presley was known as the king of rock and roll. Elvis Presley's influence on music, fashion, and pop culture was unparalleled, making him one of the most significant figures of the 20th century. Burning Love was one of the highlights of Presley's later career, showcasing his ability to deliver high-energy performances despite the personal challenges he faced during the 1970s. Music trivia. Burning Love was first recorded by country singer Arthur Alexander. However, it was Presley's version that became the definitive recording, cementing the song's place in rock history. And there you have it, our journey through the greatest hits in 1972. Whether they stirred up controversy or simply captured the spirit of the times, each of these tracks has earned its place as one of the great songs of 1972. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you won't miss any of our upcoming explorations into music's most iconic moments. And as always, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below with your favorite songs from 1972, or let us know what year you'd like us to cover next. Until next time, keep the music alive.